January the 5th, 2018, Christian Horsberg, an RN, Scotland, the National Naloxone Coordinator. I've talked to her many times. I posted this a little up there. Because the UK protocol for drug overdose is CPR, which is wrong. The Ministry of Health, Ontario, teaches chest compressions only. This is the 2015 European Resuscitation Council Guidelines for cardiac arrest in special circumstances, toxins, which is poisoning. And every nurse knows the pathophysiology of poisoning. It's a respiratory emergency. Your heart doesn't stop until severe brain hypoxia. See, poisons or drugs are not toxic in of themselves. It's the effect of respiratory depression, respiratory insufficiency that causes your blood chemistry to become toxic, killing every cell, tissue, and organ in your body. Lack of oxygen and hypercapnia, which is carbon dioxide buildup, and you'll also get a higher low sugar, potassium, calcium, and sodium content, which is killing every cell, tissue, and organ in your body. So you give them respiratory assist, which normalizes the blood chemistry. When an anesthesiologist overdoses you on fentanyl because it's a short-acting narcotic, the only thing keeping you alive is ventilations. And this is one of my letters in the peer-reviewed journals. Anne Lang's Poisoning, Drug Overdose, one of the gold standards of drug overdose. And common quotes from medical doctors and RNs while crying, "We're killing any respiratory emergency patient," because the signs of drug overdose mimic any of the hundreds of causes of respiratory emergency. Anyway, they got some pictures up here. Here's Scottish Drug Forum. Their naloxone protocol, one of their naloxone protocols, full CPR, and then naloxone. Jesus, naloxone's not going anywhere if your heart stopped. This is cyanotic blue background. That's the color of your skin. Cyanosis, oxygen deprivation. And this recovery position, yikes, yikes, yikes. Every second you're without oxygen, every cell, tissue, and organ's dying. See, it jumps to ACLS. Full CPR is out of order because every cell, tissue, and organ has died, lack of oxygen. And there's another one from the Scottish Drugs Forum. Anyway, in case of an overdose, CPR. Jeepers, jeepers, jeepers. Say 2 inches in depth. That's proper for gut areas. But then it's got a small little bit down here. An opioid overdose is not a cardiac related event. Correct. Anyway, then we got Ontario up here. Mr. Eric Hoskins, that's the Minister of Health. See, this up here says, shake and shout at the shoulders. Whoa, 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 whoa. You don't, anybody found down, you don't shake at the shoulders because it could be a spine injury. And he's got call 911, naloxone, chest compressions only. And then down here, more naloxone after 2-3 minutes and more chest compressions. This is the mayor. And Joe Mahevic, he's the chair of the Board of Health. And over there is Joe Cressy. He's the Toronto drug strategy politician. Anyway, the mayor told Mr. Hoskins here, he's the Minister of Health of Ontario, stop murdering everybody back in January 2019. Here's a little letter from Christian Horsberg, 2014. Oh yeah, rescue breathing. Whoever's in control of all this nonsense is making everybody sick. Because everybody knows this is the Heart and Stroke Foundation. See, chest compressions only is for a layperson who's never been trained for a sudden witness cardiac arrest. In Ontario, population of 14 million, there's less than 15,000 out-of-hospital cardiac arrests. The training sessions that go on in Ontario are from 30 to 90 minutes long. They teach you if the patient's in a coma, labored breathing, cyanotic, pinpoint pupils, give him chest compressions. This is Sean Hopkins. He's the manager at the Works Toronto Public Health. And this is Dr. Laurie Morrison, Director of Rescue. She wrote the American Heart Association and ERC Guidelines 2010 on toxic ingestions. She phoned the police on me before. Yeah, in the 2000, what she wrote, she is the author of it, of the guidelines, which says rescue breathing only for poisoning, any poisoning. There's over 50,000 poisonings per year in this province, and it's all rescue breathing. This is the 2015 from the Ministry of Health. Notice that, shake its shoulders, shakes, no, 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 no. Call 911, chest compressions, hard and fast. When you take this training in Ontario, there's no depth. So they're pushing right to the floorboards with you, boy. I'm telling you. They're trying to kill you on purpose. Oops. Anyway, this is that one that Mr. Hoskins was standing beside right there. That's the same one. And then chest compressions. Ooh, terrible, terrible, terrible. There's a picture that was on the front window. And there's the university, Ryerson University Nursing, is right up the corner, and they were walking back past this every day for years and didn't say anything. Chest compressions on a nice blue background. Jeepers, every nurse knows. Second class in nursing school, a practical class, is first aid. Anyway, this is what you're supposed to do. Evaluate in second dose and keep respiratory assist. The guidelines have changed to breathe once every 6 seconds because it's less tiresome. If you don't have naloxone, just give them rescue breathe until the EMS shows up. Anyway, it's utter nonsense, boy, I'm telling you. Crazy, crazy, crazy people. These doctors are getting themselves killed in the process. And it's a no-brainer. It's written about in the Bible. Christ's sakes, about respiratory emergencies, Old and New Testament. Anyway, if you're in a coma, labored breathing, cyanotic, pinpoint pupils, gurgling noises, Cheyne-Stokes respiration, that'll prove your heart's beating, you're dying, lack of oxygen. Utter nonsense. Making everybody sick on purpose. Have a good one. And don't forget to breathe once every 5 seconds. That's when you're sleeping. Because anything less than that, you're going to need air. When you're awake, your respiratory rate is normally 20 times a minute at rest. Have a good one. Escape. Bye-bye.
Prepared. They all have naloxone. The most important thing when they get on site is actually ventilation as well as naloxone. But I think what we heard loud and
well, we were told today that, for example, because that precise example was used as to whether other first responders should have naloxone, and it was said that that was not the case, that the priority, for example, when the fire department are often the first to arrive, should be on ventilation, as Dr. Yaffe just said. But let me just say this about the